Hey, this is Tom McNalley. I'm here with the G&L Legacy, Comanche, and S-500 electric guitars. These are the double cutaway single coil pickup guitars in the G&L line. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the similarities and the differences between the three of them. So some of the standard features, of course, single coil pickups, dual fulcrum bridge, 5-way pickup selector, volume, tone, tone. It's pretty straightforward. G&L, as you probably know, was George Fullerton and Leo Fender. And Leo often referred to these as the very best guitars he ever made in his life. And, for a lot of us players, when you pick them up, you figure out why that is right away. The build quality is absolutely amazing. They play great. They sound great. It's pretty much everything a player is looking for in a guitar, especially a guitar of this model. Lots of sustain, lots of resonance, beautiful sound. So anyway, I'm going to be running through that in this video. So let's check them out. All right, so first up we have the Legacy. The Legacy, very straightforward. 3 single coil pickups, dual fulcrum bridge, 5-way pickup, volume, tone, tone. This is pretty much your classic workhorse guitar. It's got all the tones that you're looking for, all the sounds, plays great, feels amazing. One of the things about G&L guitars that I especially like, and a lot of times you see people who are really seriously devoted to playing only G&Ls, and this is why, is that it really is a combination of the best of old guitars with the best of new guitars. So, for instance, the technology used to build the guitars and winding the pickups and all that kind of stuff, that's all modern technology. So you get a lot of consistency across the board, but then the vibe of the guitars, they very much feel like old guitars, that kind of like late 50s, early 60s feel of a guitar. And a lot of that comes from the superior wood quality and the materials that they use. So let's check out a little bit of the Legacy in action. All right, so what I personally like about the Legacy, as I mentioned before, this is the classic sound. This is the classic vibe guitar. So a lot of times, I'll take it on gigs where I'm doing a lot of blues and soul, a lot of that like late 50s to late 60s music. It's just a funky beast. It sings really nicely. The upper register, it's got these sparkling, beautiful highs. The lows are really rich, but it's evenly balanced and it plays really evenly across the whole range of the guitar. So for me, this is a guitar that I would take on just about any gig, but as I said, especially where I really want that guitar singing, this is the one that I'm going to go for. All right, so next up we have the Comanche. So the first thing you'll notice about the Comanche, of course, are the pickups. So these are G&L Z-coil pickups, which the basic rundown is they're single coil pickups that are offset, so they're slightly out of phase with each other, which means that they act like humbuckers, but they sound exactly like single coil pickups. So for those of us who, like me, have always wanted to have a single coil guitar that doesn't make a whole lot of noise, this is the one. I particularly like taking this guitar in the studio with me because I use lots of pedals, and the chain picks up lots and lots of anything that might be floating around in the studio. With this guitar, it's quiet and still gets that tone that I'm looking for. So I particularly like this guitar for that reason. Also, you'll notice the Comanche and the S-500 both have the secondary pickup toggle selector switch. Primary mode, it's normal 5-way selector. Secondary mode, when it's up, the top position are these two pickups together. Second position is all three, which has a really nice punchy out of phase type of sound. And third position is just the middle coil like it is on the other, and then these two are redundant. And so that's a nice little feature that they've added to this guitar. It gets an interesting extra range of sounds. So because of that, I find the Comanche is really great for really delicate and nuanced playing because everything comes out of it so clearly and cleanly. So with that in mind, let's hear a little bit of this guitar in action. Alright, so for me personally, the things that I especially like about the Comanche, like I mentioned, it's dead silent. So studio or live, there's no club that has a lighting system that's going to ruin you. Everything comes through the way it's supposed to be. These pickups are punchy too, they're nice, vibrant sounding, so you get a nice full signal, they sound really good. And then with the secondary pickup switch, you get these extra tonal options too. So it's very, very versatile, sounds great, and it's quiet. And on a personal note, I happen to think that the G&L Blueburst finish, which this guitar is in, is about the sexiest finish on the planet. They do this little purple strip in between the blue and the black that I think is just absolutely amazing. So I'm rather fond of this guitar cosmetically as well. So yeah, that's the Comanche in a nutshell. All right, so last but certainly not least, we have the S-500. So the S-500, 3 single coil pickups, but these are MFD pickups, which are G&L's proprietary pickups, stand for magnetic field design. These are really, really strong pickups. It's one of the things, with people who pretty much only play G&L pickups, this is usually why. These are in the A-Sats, and it's in the S-500. These are absolutely amazing sounding, incredibly beefy, strong tone. And again, it's got the 2-way pickup selector switch for the secondary mode. Everything else about it is pretty straight up and down. It's just a really mighty beast. So let's hear a little bit of this thing in action. So what I particularly like about the S-500, as I mentioned earlier, these pickups make this guitar a bit like, I don't know how to say this delicately, but a bit like taking a baseball bat to a wooden door. It's just mighty, absolutely mighty. For that like really crushing rock riff sort of thing, this guitar is absolutely my favorite. That's a lot of fun to play just because it's so unbelievably strong. I deliberately didn't do a lot of effects in this video. I just used clean sound for all three guitars so you could hear the basic sounds and the timbres of each instrument on its own. But if you run this guitar through overdrive or some fuzz or something like that, you're going to get a pretty brutal instrument. It's just amazing to play. It's a lot of fun to hear. So that's about what I like about the S-500. It's just an absolute terror. All right, so you've heard the guitars individually. Now let's hear them side by side. In conclusion, three guitars, the three G&L double cutaway single coil guitars, the Legacy, the Comanche, and the S-500. I would say about the Legacy, that's your classic vintage vibe type of single coil pickup guitar. That's the one that you want as your workhorse guitar. You take it out on any gig, it's going to sound great. Comanche, like I said, I use this guitar in studio sessions all the time, and no noise, no hum. You just can't beat that. And then the S-500 is your absolutely unparalleled rock-out machine. Special apology to the other two guitars. I'd love to hold them all at once for the final shot, but I only got two hands. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think you'll really love these guitars. If you take yourself down to a music store and check them out, you'll be pleasantly surprised and pleased if you don't know G&L guitars. And if you do, then you know a little bit about these things and you're really going to fall in love with these beasts. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.